What was it like as a young man to move from, you're from a very small town in Canada, right? Originally?
Yeah, I was born in a very small town. Yeah.
Okay. To then go ahead and move to Montreal, to go to TriStar, to work with Georges St. Pierre and Ferras and all those people. What was it like? Do you remember the first time you met GSP, and how old were you?
Yeah, a lot of learning experiences for sure. Going to a big city from like where I came, for sure, it's definitely changed me over the years. Just being a city guy now, for sure. And the first time I met George, it was just in the gym and stuff. He was very welcomed me with open arms, and after we trained for the first time, he'd even brought me out to Montreal to work because he thought I had a lot of potential, and he helped me out a lot.
So he was a big fan from the beginning?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about fan, but he was a big supporter, that's for sure, and he helped me a ton.
How old were you?
He didn't have to, because he was the UFC champ, and I was like, what was I, 18 or something? I don't even know if, oh yeah, I was signed to the UFC at that point. But yeah, it was bizarre.
And you signed the UFC at 18?
19, yeah, that would have been 19.
What's that like growing up in the UFC?
Or 20 maybe, I'm not even sure, I can't remember.
Is that strange growing up, or is it just so normal for you right now?
It was always my goal when I was 14, when I started going in. Like I kind of knew that was where I was going. And my goal was to be in there pretty young. I was hoping to be in there before I was, in my 20s.
Okay. People always ask me, like, how do I find a mentor? People are always asking me that because we have a lot of people on this show that people kind of look up to. And I was just wondering, like, to have a mentor like GSP, changed your life, really.
Yeah. Before that, though, I had a good role model in my coach, David Lee, back home,
Okay.
He, before that, I wasn't doing anything good in my life, I was a little shithead. But when
How bad?
Not that bad, but I was that,
If you hadn't have taken that first martial arts class, what would Rory MacDonald be doing today?
I don't know. I was the shit. I was just a little shit. But I don't know, probably nothing good.
Okay.
But yeah, starting martial arts and finding that MMA school, Toshido, I had a lot of grown men, doing the sport and looking up to them, and my coach Dave was always very helpful with me, as a young guy. So he was probably biggest mentor for me in the early going,
Okay.
And then when I had, tried to go over to TriStar, obviously there was tons of guys there, George, Dennis Kang, David Loiseau. There was a ton of guys that would be considered old school guys now, but back then it was those dudes were at the top.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.